My name is Neoshi Green-Kebreau. I'm a clinical and transpersonal hypnotherapist. In this session, in this group past life party, you will be visiting two past lives, the life in between lives, and 5, 10, and 20 years into the future. In a moment, I'll count from 5 to 1. You'll be in another significant life, influencing and affecting your life today. Welcome back. So, who wants to go first? Anybody want to share what they experienced?
I'll go. My first past life that I went to was very strange. I was at a table with a bunch of concoctions, and I don't know what was on the table. I don't know what was going on. It was very dim. And then these guys came down. It was like 4 or 5 guys, and they had swords, and they were like, "You're coming with us. You know, we came to take you," or something. You know, like I got up out of my chair and I said, "Y'all not taking me," and I slit my own throat. And after I slit my own throat, something came out of me and killed the rest of them. I don't know what was going on. I was so confused. I'm not gonna lie to you. After that one and then the next past life, I couldn't even focus on the future because I was too shocked. And I was trying to figure out what was going on with that life specifically.
The first one was extreme. Like, you talked about the avatar. And just to preface, because, I've done the Akashic Records and all this other stuff. Never saw any of this while I was there. The first one, I was on a plantation and went through some sexual trauma. And that was the first, what the hell? And then it was like, after going through that trauma, I then decided to figure out a way to protect myself and the subsequent children of that trauma. And I started learning about different herbs and things like that, and started doing sort of spiritual things in order to get in control of the plantation owner and what was going on with that.
So for me, my first life that I went into, I was a man. Ended up in a forest. I didn't have on any clothes besides like covering up like my private area. And I had like a bulky built body. And it seemed like it was a time where they did hunting and gathering. That's what I was kind of picking up, and like that's what I was doing at the moment. And I felt like I was somewhere in Asia. And I also had like a wife and a kid. And it seemed that my kid and my wife got abducted. Like they went up into the light. I don't know how to explain it.
So 3 past lives slipped in. One slipped in the middle of the big one, which was really weird because when you mentioned, you're closing that space, another life just popped in. So the first one, I'm about 10 years old, in the 1800s, based kind of Little House on the Prairie kind of outfit.
I think the most unique portion about my experience is that I actually never experienced death. Apparently, I was burned at the stake as they were doing whatever they needed to do in order to kill me. I put my soul into that little girl's body. The interesting part of it is that you actually came through the door, and as a little girl, I ran up and hugged you. Like your face in a beautiful, very gaudy gown came through. You were with a gentleman and there was a child with you. So it was 3 of you. So it was you, a gentleman, and a child. I ran up and I hugged you. But just as I embraced you, the scene just kind of almost like it just poofs, it like just disappears and puts me in a whole nother portion. And in that portion, I'm in the water. I'm an animal. I don't want to say a mermaid, but the term siren comes to my mind because I was able to be in the water, but I was able to also go on land when I noticed that there were people that had what looked to me as these sticks on their body. And it was something that I wanted. So I was able to visualize and have sticks, which I now know are legs, have sticks. And I was sitting and I was painting using some leaves and water and stuff to paint. And then it knocks over and it's like the sand drug me back to the water because I had a duty there, or it was almost like I had a colony, and I guess I was trying to escape my colony, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go and have sticks like these other people, and it pulled me back to the water, and a part of me thought that, or felt that I was drowning, and as it just kind of continued, I took like a really deep breath, and I felt that part. I took a really deep breath and it went back to a scene of me being on a porch, being older, sitting with my best friend, and just kind of looking out. And even fast forwarding when we went to the 5, 10, and 15 year, the same scenes were replaying, and it was just me in an older fashion, you know, trying to just be happy. But I could tell in my past lives, I tried to hide who I was a lot. And every time I got found out, they came to kill me. But every time they came to kill me, I switched my soul into another body.
And then the first scene was in the 1800s or very early 1900s. I was on there was a carriage with horses going down a dirt road. There was this humongous white building. I'm not sure if it was a hotel or some kind of rooming house, but it was very huge, very luxurious. And I was on the outside of it in like a petticoat dress, waiting for my students. And I was a teacher. I was hired to work at a school where the very rich sent their children. Then like the scene started shifting and there was an uprising in this community. Someone tried to shoot me, but all of a sudden, like this golden globe of like energy shielded me. Like I created this golden globe of energy and it shielded me. And then we switched to another scene and I was in this dark room. I was like a samurai warrior or something in like this dark container. And there was a little window where I had the ability to open up this spot with this same golden ball of energy.
At one point in the beginning, I felt like I was nothing. Like I was just floating somewhere. Like I literally had no body and like I was morphing into something, but it was just so painful.
So first I was a tiger and I was just hanging out with other tigers, living life. Another life, I became a Kenyan queen. But I hated ruling. I didn't want to rule. And then my next life, I was Nefertiti's cousin. I was sick and I needed to be healed, but no one came to heal me. So they ended up putting me in like this tomb and sending me off in the water.
I fell asleep. But before I fell asleep, I was a little boy in a uniform about to play baseball.
I feel like I was in this white room and all I could see was, you know, a bunch of people standing with these long white lab coats and their shoes. I never saw their faces or anything. And then when you instructed us to kind of look at ourselves, when I looked at my hands, I didn't feel human. I didn't have any type of human, I would say, experience. My hands look weird. And I don't know if I morphed into several different animals, but I watched my hand change several times. My hand went from like these really long, I don't even know how to describe it. There were no claws, just really long fingers. I still had 5 fingers, I think, but they were just really long, maybe alien or extraterrestrial or something. And then they shift to like almost like a claw, like a bird's claw. I've seen a bat's claw, so I won't say it's a bat's claw. It could have been like an eagle or something. It was like it was big. The claw was huge.
I felt like I was somewhere like in like an African desert, and it kind of starts off as like a run, walk, and eventually it becomes kind of like I'm crawling. But I just have this feeling like I'm trying to make it somewhere. Like I don't know where I'm going. I don't know why I'm going, but I just feel like it's urgent. Wherever I'm going, I need to get there. It's really important that I get there.
I look down at my legs and my legs look like heels and my arms look very long. And I had like 3 claws on my hands. And I was around other alien looking beings and someone was talking, but they weren't using their mouth. And so I guess we were speaking, telepathically.
I felt at first I couldn't really see anything, but I was this big, gigantic man. I sat in this big stone chair and there were tents or mounds mounds, you know what I mean? They like all over the place. After that, you said go into somewhere else. So when I went into this place, I was a woman and I had on white dress and I had a ponytail with this red, what was the colors? Red, green, and yellow. And then I had on a white dress and I was upset because they were wrapping my husband, mummifying him. And I was mad because, I don't know, I was going off because they didn't do it in a certain way. I was very angry. I was very demanding. They slung me to the ground, took 2 of my children. It was a boy and a girl. All of a sudden, I jumped to, I'm an old lady, very old.